Hello, everybody. How are y'all doing? I hope everybody's well. Happy Sunday. I hope everybody's had a good day today. Let's see here who we got up in here. Well, Miss Janice stopped by to say hello. Hello, Miss Janice. We love you, miss you. Hello, TJ. Hello. Anna, thank you for being here. Melissa, of course, we got our Millie in the house. Hello, Millie. Love you so much. Let's see. We got anybody else sneaking in here? Hi, Smiley. Thanks for being here. I love y'all so big. Thank y'all so much for being here with us. So, hello, Meow. How are you? Uh, my nose is itchy. I hope everybody's well. It was not very long before we started this live that I was getting everything ready to go, and um, I had one of my famous light shows. I don't know what to call them. I don't. There's a technical for it, but all I know is I see prisms in one eye. It grows from a little tiny spot to a big spot and covers my whole eyeball. And as soon as that's over with, it's an instant migraine. And so, yeah, I had one of those right before I started getting everything ready to go. So I'm kind of squinty because my head hurts, but we'll make it through. I did oh, my nose is itching. I did I'm going to show y'all. Um I don't know how to explain them. They last about 15 minutes total, 15 to 20 minutes. And I found an Excedrin commercial that I have seen before, and I'm going to play it for y'all. And this will show you exactly what I'm talking about. And as soon as this prism type light show is over, then it's an instant migraine. So I'm going to show y'all. Hang on, here we go. Can you see that little blurry spot? That's what starts out. And then over to the side of it, it's a C shape. I don't know what it's called, but this is exactly what I do. And it lingers, and it takes about a total of 15 minutes. And that's what I go through. It is so hard um to function. So that's what happens mostly in this eye. I don't know. It's weird. But I can close my eye and I can see that little pixelated. Okay, I don't know what we're doing. Hang on. Okay. Anyways, I'm back. But yeah, that's what I go through. Yeah, my auroras. Yes, that's it. Oh, they drive me insane. I had them for years and years and years, several a week. And then the doctor had gave me a shot that I took in my belly once a month. And I did that for a year. I haven't had any of those in 6 years. and now they're back with a vengeance. That was my fifth one this week. So, oh, anyways, hi, Christy. Thanks for coming in. Hey, Charisse. How are you? Thank y'all for being here. Hey, Mimi Jean. Hi, OG Nanny. I hope y'all are all well. Well, today we're going to talk about summer. It is Summer Sunday. But before we do, I want to address something. Um, well, I did that. I thought maybe I did have cataracts, but it is got to do with the optical nerve, the occipital nerve in the back of your head. And as you try your stress levels or whatever, and your vessels expand, it's hitting the back of my eye. And that's what causes it. So I guess I'm just too stressed out. I don't know. But I want to address Friday. And we're going to talk about this and then get it over and done with, and we'll move on. But I do thank everyone that was here Friday. We were expecting for our mod, and what we all thought was a friend, for James to come up. And he was going to share a story that he had told me about. He had told others as well. And we waited and we waited and we waited, and James no longer exists. So, to James C., wherever you may be, whoever you may be, have a good life. That's all we can say. Have a good life. We wish you well. Good riddance. So I don't know. I don't understand when people have to be someone they're not, or whatever the situation was. I have my thoughts and opinions on it. But anyways, we will move on from there. But I do thank y'all for hanging in there with me Friday night. It was disappointing, to say the least. Yeah, I don't know. When your whole channel is gone, it pretty much shows that you were not who you said you were. It was a game, and it is what it is. You can come on YouTube and be whoever you want to be. And I guess that's what James was doing. Lots of people befriended him, and it was all for nothing for him, I guess. He was, I guess, having fun with it, enjoying, just betraying everybody. But anyways, good riddance to him. And we move on from here. So, Summer Sunday, guys. We're going to talk about that sweet little girl who is still missing, still has no answers, and her case just continues to stay muddled. You have people who come out with a bang talking about her. You have people who have been there from day one. There's nothing left to talk about too much, so they back off, stay in the background. You have people who, like with Sebastian's case, feel the need to criticize every little thing every person says. You have the people who are still trying to put out information and keep her name out there. And you have people who just kind of gave up because of all the mess, just like with Sebastian's case. And hey, Southpaw, thank you for being here. But we just want to keep talking about her. We want to keep showing things, talking about what's happened. There is nothing new at all. There's nothing at all since day one to show what happened to her, where she might have went to. Hey, Janet. Well, thank you for coming in, Janet. We appreciate you being here. So we have really one true fact, and that is that Summer is gone. I personally feel like her parents are not telling us the whole story 100%. Can I prove that? No. We hear stories about, was the dad home that day or not? We hear stories of, did the mother leave the holler that afternoon for a good extended amount of time and then come back? None of us were there. None of us know for sure. And so, with that, we're just going to continue to put out things that have been said, things that have been done in this case. And I have a few clips, just little pieces that we're going to play. I think I did not put Josh from the lab on the description, but I will go back and put his on there because we are going to start with his, and it's the beginning. And he does an excellent job with just explaining where we are, what we're doing here when it comes to Summer. So let me put a little music on. Let me know, please, if this is too loud. I don't want it to be too loud, but we do need just a little music in the background. Okay, here we go. And this is Josh from the lab, the beginning.
A 5-year-old girl clad in gray pants and a pink shirt, her blonde hair cropped short, came in from gardening and went to play with her toys in the basement of her family's home in rural East Tennessee. That was the last time anybody saw her. Summer Wells disappeared on the evening of June 15th, 2021, sparking a weeks-long manhunt in the rugged, mountainous terrain of Hawkins County. Hundreds of tips called into the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation have been dead ends, and some in her family have all but given up hope of finding her alive. This is The Lab. I'm your host, Joshua Diaz, and this is the disappearance of Summer Wells. 5:30 p.m. on June 15th, 2021, Summer was planting flowers about 20 feet from her family's house on Ben Hill Road in the unincorporated community of Beach Creek with her mother and grandmother. She reportedly went inside and told her 3 older brothers she wanted to play with her toys in the basement. But when her mother, Candace Wells, came inside a short time later, Summer was nowhere to be found. 6:30 p.m. on June 15th, 2021, Summer was reported missing to the Hawkins County Sheriff's Office. And midnight on June 16th, 2021, the Tennessee State Bureau of Investigation released an endangered child alert for Summer. Shortly after 11 a.m. on June 16th, 2021, Tennessee Bureau of Investigations changed the endangered child alert to an Amber Alert. The endangered child alert is issued when there is more concern for a child's safety, while Amber Alerts are reserved for the most serious of missing children cases, where officials believe a child is in imminent danger. 4 p.m. on June 16th, 2021, officials with the Hawkins County Sheriff's Office and Tennessee Bureau of Investigations held the first of what would be several news conferences updating the public on the search efforts. About 30 tips were called in before the end of the day. And at 1 p.m. on June 17th, 2021, search teams said steep and dangerous terrain, including dense canopy coverage and ground cover, were hampering their efforts. Poor cell service was also making it difficult for them to communicate. 8:40 p.m., June 17th, 2001, investigators began asking anyone who lives on or near Ben Hill Road to check their trail cameras, surveillance footage, and outbuildings for any sign of Summer. June 18th, 2021. Summer's father spoke to media outlets for the first time, saying he was at work when Summer went missing. Quote, "When I got home, I drove to the bottom of the property and I realized that all my neighbors and stuff were combing the woods looking for her. And I realized right then and there that she was not there," unquote. Wells told Times News, quote, "I knew right then and there she was gone because she would never leave there on her own. Somebody had taken her," unquote. And on June 19th, 2021, Tennessee Bureau of Investigation shared photographs of Summer's house and property where she was last seen. June 22nd, 2021. 1 week after Summer's disappearance, the Tennessee Bureau reported receiving at least 221 tips. Investigators continued to push residents in the area to check their barns and crawl spaces for places a child might hide. Specialized searches in the Beech Creek community carried on. June 23rd, 2021, investigators set up a roadblock to ask drivers if they had noticed anything unusual on the day Summer disappeared. June 26th, 2021. The Bureau asked the driver of a Toyota pickup truck to come forward after a witness reported seeing it in the Beech Creek area in the late afternoon or early evening on June 14th or June 15th. Officials said the person may have seen something related to Summer's disappearance. The truck was described as a 1998 or 2000 maroon or red Toyota Tacoma with a full bed ladder rack along with white buckets in the truck bed. To date, this driver has never been found. June 27th, 2021, officials announced they are scaling back search operations. July 1st, 2021, the Polk County Sheriff's Office in Wisconsin told WJHL Summer's disappearance renewed interest in the case of her missing aunt, Rose Mary Bly, who vanished in Polk County in 2009. July 2nd, 2021, Hawkins County Sheriff Ronnie Lawson told WJHL they have received no solid leads from over the 750 tips called in. July 11th, Lawson told the Times News Summer's case is nowhere even close to being cold. July 12th, TBI confirmed they've received 935 tips regarding Summer's disappearance. In a recorded video, Lawson told the public that everything is still on the table. Quote, "We're still trying to find out what happened to Summer, so everybody is still a person of interest," he said. On the same day, in an interview with the Times News, Summer's father, Donald Wells, expressed little hope that she was still alive. He also confirmed he, his wife, and his mother-in-law all passed lie detector tests in the early days of the investigation. July 13th, Shelley Smitherin, assistant special agent in charge with the TBI, said investigators typically have a credible tip or lead to go off of within a couple of days of a child disappearing. Quote, that is the frustrating part for law enforcement in this case and for the public, unquote. We will continue to investigate and search for Summer, and in the public eye, there may not be as much media attention given to this case, but that does not mean we are going to stop what we're doing. And here's what we know. Summer has blonde hair and blue eyes. She's about 3 feet tall and weighs 40 pounds. Investigators said she was last seen wearing gray pants, a pink shirt, and was possibly barefoot. And anyone with information about her disappearance is asked to call the contact number of the TBI at 1-800-TBI-FIND. That's 1-800-TBI-FIND, or the Hawkins County Sheriff's Office at 423-272-7121. That's 423-272-7121. Tips can also be emailed to tips2tbi@tn.gov. Now, some important points here. Agents and Hawkins County detectives continued to search for the 1998 and 2000 maroon or red Toyota Tacoma with a full bed ladder rack and white buckets in the truck bed. This search stems from information investigators received that a truck matching that description was seen in the area of Beach Creek Road and Ben Hill Road in the late afternoon to early evening on either Monday, June 14th or Tuesday, June 15th. And remember, Summer was reported missing to the Hawkins County Sheriff's Office approximately 6:30 p.m. on Tuesday, June 15th. Hawkins County investigators immediately began working the case. The Tennessee Bureau of Investigation says a photo of what the truck may look like has been circulating on social media, along with claims that the vehicle had been located. And the photo was never released by law enforcement and is not accurate. And the Bureau continues to urge the public to only share information from official sources. The TBI is also aware of individuals asking for donations from public under the pretense that they are assisting law enforcement in the search for Summer. Agents and Hawkins County detectives have not requested investigative assistance from any private citizen. They say any new information will be shared, but they still cannot share specifics about the investigation itself as it is ongoing. Thank you for listening. This is The Lab, hosted by Joshua Diaz. Like, subscribe, comment, share. It's important to get this out. Thank you.
All right. Well, for me, let me put my camera back on here. For me, Josh did an amazing job on that video. Describes everything we know. It has everything on there that would be the most important information from the very, very beginning. A better layout by Josh versus Dolly the other day. Okay. Email me when you can. Would love to touch base. Perfect guidance. If you could put your email address, or is it on your channel? If it's on your channel, I'll get it from there. Guidance. But yes, I would love to talk to you. Um, Josh did an amazing job, and I wanted to share that out. If you have not subbed to Josh's channel, please do so. He has the lab. He does a lot of things with Chris McDonough, and they put out some very, very good information, not only on just summer, but others as well. And then he has Lab After Dark, which is just a lighter, um, just lighter, just something a little more fun. But yes, Josh is amazing. Complete credit goes to him for that. Um, then I want to play another one. We have talked in the past about the father and how the father, has at sometimes has said that, he didn't have to sell his daughter for the drugs. But we do have some disturbing information that was put out, and I want to share this with you guys. And here we go with this. Let's listen.
Appalled at the new clues, if you will, coming out in Summer's case. A vast majority of people believe that Summer was being trafficked by her parents, Dawn and Candace. Officials say that everything is still on the table, so they're looking at foul play, abduction, everything. Everyone is still a suspect. Not a single person has been ruled out, no matter what they claim online. Today, I was watching Cher from Voices Behind the Walls, and many of us are aware that she was in contact with Dawn Wells. It turns out that Dawn shared a picture of Summer with her that he didn't put out there before. Well, I have never seen this picture before today myself. Anyway, Summer looks so cute, and at first it seemed to look like a cute little picture of Summer. Upon closer investigation, Cher discovered that this was a picture taken by Dawn Wells from another device of his, either from another phone or iPad, which means he obviously didn't turn that device into TBI. Makes sense because when you zoom this picture, you can obviously on the screen. Anyway, it gets worse. There are tiny icons at the bottom, just like this example here. So there's a big picture, and then the tiny icons at the bottom which show other pictures that are stored in the gallery. Upon looking at them closely, Cher discovered they were potentially inappropriate images of Summer. What seemed to be Summer on a better chair, being posed. Some what looks like she has no clothes on, one with just her back showing, also with no clothes on. Another picture with her hands up. Cher didn't show these pictures as she didn't know how appropriate it is, but I believe she informed TBI of this. Now it makes me question why Dawn and Candace have devices that should have been turned in. Candace said during her interview with Chris McDonough that she had her phone in her possession. Why? Withholding evidence. Her daughter is missing, turn in everything, unless she's scared they're going to find something. Same with Dawn. What's up with all these devices that were obviously not turned in? I strongly believe that justice is coming soon for Summer Wells. Let's keep talking about her story and make sure she's not forgotten. Haven't heard from Dawn and Candace in a while. They've been silent.
All right. Thank you to When Evil Enters for that one. Um, that was something that we were all kind of blown away with, when Cher came out and talked about that in the description of the pictures that were at the bottom, that little thumbnail across the bottom. Y'all, what kind of life did Summer lead, Well, hello, Ziggy. We see you. And wait, what? Not crazy. Not crazy. And then guidance, thank y'all for being here as well. Everyone else that's come in, thank y'all. Thank y'all for being here. But evil exists. It does. It really, really does. And if those pictures do exist, if those pictures were posed for, I could only imagine what the purpose could be for that. I could only imagine why. And if they are so disturbing, what kind of life was Summer living? And is it true, the rumors we hear, that she was used by other people? You know, we heard Don and Candace talking about his boss was upset because it had gotten out that he paid $5,000 or something to be with Summer. Could that be true? Hey, Eve, how are you? I hope you're well. So we can only sit here and guess. But it's that picture he sent her was so just cute. Her messed up hair, her dirty little face. Just a cute little picture. And Sherry herself had even said that she had had that for a while before she noticed the thumbnails at the bottom. But it makes you wonder, when you have a child that's missing with no explanation whatsoever of where she could be or what happened to her, and then you hear about the pictures, you can't help but wonder, did someone take her that is using her? Is that what her life is now? It's really sad, guys. And it makes me wonder all the time, is that her life? Because no child deserves that. She didn't ask for that. No child at 5 years old is going to pose like that. That should never be a natural thing for a child. But with the pictures that we're seeing, it's very, very possible that that was Summer's life. I want to play another one that talks about the possibility of Summer still being close by. And this is another scenario, I guess we can say, as to what possibly had happened or where she could possibly be. So I'm going to share this one out. And this is, let me see here. It is going to be, I think, Crime Stories Obsessed, I believe, is this one. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Guys, this is 1991 when Don Wells was booked into jail, which then turned around and became a way of life for him, it seems.
Over the last nearly 3 years, we've wondered what could have happened to Summer Wells. Is she alive? Is she not? Is she still on the property? Is she far away? Did somebody take her? And all the different reasons why somebody would. There's so many different theories in this case, and to be honest, it's good to look at every avenue and every possibility. But a couple of things that have been said over the past couple of years have really made me think. And I believe that Summer is still on that land. If you remember, there was an open CPS case. Dawn said they closed it the day before. I don't believe they did. And from what I was told, it was still open, which is why they came and eventually took the boys. It was already open. It was an already open investigation, and they were coming that next day. And that's why Candace had the boys at home cleaning the house. That's why they were not with them at the lake that day, because she'd asked them to stay behind and clean the house and tidy round. So Summer went off with her mum to the horse pond with Hunter. Why Hunter was there, I honestly think it was for some kind of alibi. I think that was set up. He'd not seen Candace and Summer for quite some time, and then suddenly Hunter can come out with us if he wants. Many people have suggested the same, that Hunter may have been some kind of alibi. I think so too. But a couple of things that have been said over the last couple of years have really made me think. One of them being this, where Donald discusses what Summer looks like now. But it's not what Summer could look like or maybe might look like, because obviously you haven't seen your daughter, so you're not going to know what her hair looks like.
Guys, do y'all remember the live that we did where we played Cher's little section of video where Dawn tells us what she looks like today? Even Miss Emma here caught on to that as well.
So to say this, and I'm going to play it for you now, it's weird. And if you look at Benny's face and hear the reaction of Cher, you can see that they're probably thinking the same as me.
Whatever, that's great, but
better than nothing.
Summer's hair is the length of my wife's hair now. About 4 or 5 inches now. She don't look the same. She's a bit bigger. I don't know.
That's a good fact to remember.
It's just so discouraging.
Are you saying also you
Not only this, when Candace was talking to Ernie on YouTube, on his channel, he was suggesting that he would come down there with this big crew. He had all these searchers. They had the sniffer dogs. They had the ground penetrating radar. And he had all good intentions, apparently, to go down there and to find Summer. And if she was on that land, up in the caves, just above the land, somewhere around there, they were going to search. But Candace said this.
Teams up there in a matter of days. So
you can go out there, just don't bring them on my property. That's all I ask.
okay, next week I'll be in Tennessee, and we can meet out and we can talk. Is that cool?
Next week. What day next week?
Well, I mean, whatever you want to do, whatever you want to decide.
Because I'm kind of busy next week a little bit in the beginning of the week. I'm kind of going to be busy for a minute or two. I don't want nobody on my property because TBI, LE, FBI, everybody's already searched that property so much and twisted and turned it over and made a big ass mess and all kinds of bullshit.
Right.
So many people in my comment section over the past year have all suggested that they think Summer is still on the land at 110 Ben Hill Road, that she's still there. And so I'm thinking, well, where would she be if she was there? Now, okay, they have acres of land, plenty of space to bury somebody, but then wouldn't the dogs find her? Now, I've suggested, what about a septic tank? What about wells on the property? These are not suggested and documented on new maps of the area. These are on the old maps. And I've got receipts for these wells that are on that property. One being down near the road, near the bottom shed, and one being up near the top, near the house. But getting away from the wells for a minute, a similar idea. What if Summer, and just hear me out, was under the land? I don't mean buried because she died. I mean, she was useful to them. If we're thinking Don is what he could be, as suggested by his sisters, as suggested by other people, then she could have been an asset to them, a money source, or for his own benefit. I know this is awful to talk about because we don't even know if this is fact or just made up stuff that we've heard. But if they knew that CPS was going to come, and we don't know what the conversation was with CPS, so we don't know how close they were for them taking Summer, because we don't know what Summer said to them previously on previous visits. We don't know what they've documented in previous visits. But is there a chance that if they knew or felt for 1 second that their beautiful baby daughter was going to get taken away, and for whatever reason that was, that they didn't want her to be taken away, whether it was because of their own gratification, whether it was because they just absolutely adored her and didn't want CPS to take her away, whatever the reason was, if they had some kind of underground tunnel or some kind of underground area that they could keep her in, like a bunker or some kind of storm shelter, we need to.
Guys, do you remember Dawn saying how she could be locked in a dungeon somewhere, not getting to see daylight or go outside? Makes you wonder.
We need to also discuss the fact that there are a lot of tunnels underneath Rogersville, underneath Tennessee, in fact. The old railroads, where some people down in the south migrated to the north and used these tunnels, used these old railroads to make their way up to the north, where slavery laws had been abolished. So everybody wanted to get up there and out of the south. So they used these old tunnels and railroads, as you can see here. Some of them are even under places that you didn't even know about. Under some of the churches, under Rogersville Town Hall, and under Beach Creek.
And Tennessee, though, Tennessee, I mean, that's so beautiful and gorgeous, and all the mountains. You can have root cellars. You can have all kinds of things in the sides of hills. Your house is oftentimes built in the side of the hill. That's why they have walkout basements up there on Benton Hill, because they've built into basically the side of the hill. We can look at this as, rather than saying something happened, we're just crossing things off the list. We want to make sure we've checked everything that is a land feature that perhaps Ellie doesn't even know about. And we're not being assumptive or arrogant or anything. They may not know of, say, a hidden well that was from 40 years ago that went out of use, and no one who lives there now knows it exists. The properties switch hands. Older generations die off and new ones come on. New water lines coming in from the city come into the property, and things are lost and forgotten. So I don't think it's a foolish errand to go about and locate the various land features.
That might be why they just don't show any emotion, because they have no emotion about it, because she's still there. Candace didn't want anyone on the property. Why? They have that bottom shed near the road. Now, I don't think there's anything with that shed, but I do think if you look at the house, there's another shed, which is 166, I think, Ben Hill Road. It was actually a 160 Ben Hill Road, and that used to be a home. And they call it now like a shed. They use it, and I don't know if it's got a basement in it, but it would be so easy for some kind of tunnel. We don't know what his mother had put in under that ground, around that area. Like I say, a lot of the wells that are there are not even documented on latest maps. And who knows? But I just thought it was a theory. It was something we need to discuss because for whatever reason, Candace does not want anyone on that property. Don seems to know what Summer's hair looks like. I'm sure if she'd have been taken away by now, somebody would have come forward. She would have been seen, or somebody would have got rid of her because of the fact that it was too high profile of a case. But I don't think that's the case. I honestly think, I don't know if she was injured that day, but I honestly think this has more to do with the CPS case and them possibly thinking about taking Summer and them wanting to keep Summer for their own reasons, whatever those reasons were. And I think she could still be on that land. We do not know what is under that land. Like I say, the wells are not even documented on the new one. We don't know what his mum had in place on that land.
While we're talking about the property, we also need to make note that this is what it looked like back when his mother owned the property. So you can see the house at the top, but can you see the long metal roof? That has now been taken away. That structure has been removed. Was there a basement under that? We also need to make note that his mother was a drywaller. He is a drywaller. These people know how to build walls and how to take walls down. But this structure was removed. And as you can see at the bottom, that structure was also removed. Did that have a basement underneath?
And I just think it's interesting. And it would be something that we know Ellie have been there and they've been all around that house. They've been searching. They've had the dogs on there. But would they be able to? Her scent's going to be all over that land. If she's still alive, they're not going to be looking for Godiva. I just think it's a possibility and it's something we need to think about because they just don't show any emotion. And surely you would show some emotion. I don't know. What would you think about this theory? It is just another theory. We've discussed all sorts of theories on this channel, and it's just another theory. Let's discuss it. Let's talk about it. Are you from around that area? I know a lot of people from Tennessee watch this channel. What do you know about tunnels? What do you know about shelters, about areas on land where people, dig underneath? What do you know about that? Do you think there's a possibility that there could be some underground place on that land? It's a theory that has not been discussed yet on YouTube. Maybe you think it's crazy, but it's another theory, and I think it's something we need to think about.
Well, I think she did an amazing job with that. I think that there are possibilities there. Now, I do want to explain one thing. The pictures of the nasty rundown place with the bug crawling on the floor, that is the other house that's on that property. You see it when she's on her swing. That is where Dawn lived when he was married to his previous wife and they had their young children, and his mother was living in the main house. So, just, that was not their house that they live in. I just want to make sure of that. But there are tunnels, there's caves, they're all around. And is it possible? It is very possible. Anything is possible because we know nothing. And with that being said, all we can do is look into things. All we can do is talk about her. All we can do on our part is just continue to put her name out there, continue to make sure that her story does not get lost. But it is very possible that they did not let her go. They did not let something happen to her. It is very possible that she was an asset to them. It is very possible that in one form or another, I just think she possibly could have been a payment for a drug debt. And I hate saying that, but it's possible. It is very possible. Yeah, Smiley, are you talking about when Dawn said that about Summer's hair growing out and you wouldn't even recognize her? She had grown up so much. Yeah. Yes. And, you know, the payment for the drug debt, I had never, ever even thought that was possible. I never thought it was an option. I never thought anything of it until Dawn was talking and we did a live about it and we played it, and his words were when they told him he sold his daughter for drugs. He freaked out. He said he started freaking out. Those are his words. He was so messed up at the time. In his own words, he says, "You will sell your soul for your next high." And we know we're not, we may not be someone who does drugs or has done drugs in the past or whatever, but we do know that drugs take a hold of your life and they have a control after so long. The drug of your choice is what controls your life. And for him to say that he freaked out for a minute made me think a whole different way. And we know he goes to Knoxville. We know that is something that happens. It's been happening. It hasn't stopped happening. And if that's a way of life, and if he brings back these drugs and this woman of the night, drops her off somewhere, goes home, and he doesn't make the payment for the drugs or return the girl, they're going to expect something. And so that is a possibility. I'm not saying it's what happened. I'm just saying that becomes a real possibility. And you have to talk about it. You have to look at that as an option or a scenario or however you want to word it, because Don's very own words were when they told him he sold his daughter for drugs for a debt he owed, that he started to freak out because he didn't really know. He really didn't know. And it's something that happens, guys. It happens. It happens a lot. Unfortunately, these children born into addiction with their parents end up paying the ultimate sacrifice. And I just can't get past the fact that Dawn went to Knoxville for drugs and women. How young do they have them there? Is that a place that they would have kept her? Are they grooming her for when she's a little older? I don't know. But it's possible. It's very possible due to his lifestyle. And Candace wasn't much better. When you have a police officer come to your house the day your child's missing and hand you a bottle of whiskey, your life's not much better than that. It's sad to say, but this little baby girl, she really didn't have a chance. But I do have to say that I give credit to Dawn and Candace, because everything we see today of them, they seem to be clean. It took them several years. It took them a while, but they did clean up. But I just wonder, is it too late? Is it too late? I hope and pray that one day that day will come where we get notification that she has been found. I just worry about what kind of state she will be in when she is found. You know, the ultimate goal would be that a family took her in, that loved her, that took care of her, that nourished her, that fed her, taught her good things in life. But that's such a slim possibility, and we don't know who took her. I would have to say, I feel almost 100% certain that there is not a stranger on this earth that would climb up to the top of that hill and take a child from out of her room. How would they have possibly done that if the story we were told was 100% correct? Did the mother go to the camper, outside of the camper, fix her mother's knee brace, and on the other side of the house, this little girl's in her room playing? It doesn't make sense. It does not make sense. even if she was outside playing. A stranger new to that area would not travel to the top. You don't do that on people's property when you are out in the woods, because there is always a shotgun at the door. And there are bullets ready to go. So, no, I don't see it being a stranger. I don't see it being just a random person. And for me, that scenario could be crossed off. But for someone that knows them, someone that she would have felt comfortable with, could have easily lured her down the hill. And her mother's used that word. Her mother uses it several times. Lured her down off the property. Her scent goes down the dog trail. It stops at the driveway, right where a car could possibly be. And with that, it's a guessing game. The hardest part is they used a shoe of hers. They used, I believe, a piece of clothing that came out of the hamper, which would have had the boy's scent, the parent's scent, her scent. I don't understand the process of that, but did the dogs follow the right scent? That's always been my question. And if there is a possibility that that baby is out there somewhere, I pray that we keep her picture out there, her story out there enough that somebody will hear about it. Somebody might see her. And that's all we can do. The mom doesn't want anybody up on the property searching anymore. I can kind of understand that. Stories have been twisted around and turned around. The property has a lot of places that someone could easily have gotten up there. I've heard a version that they were playing on the roof. She might have fell down in the chimney. At the bottom of the chimney, you do see where it was tore open at the very bottom. And it was put back with cinder blocks there. Is that a possibility? Sure. Anything could be a possibility. I want next week, if I can find them, I'm going to look on Cam and Allie's channel, Cracking Cases. They did some videos where they were on top of the property up there. They were allowed to video. They showed the dog trails. They showed the way down. They showed how difficult it is, how Cam picks up a big old huge bag of dog food, throws it over his shoulder, and he runs down the dog trail, or one of them. It's very good footage for people to see exactly what a person would be up against. And it shows me, in my opinion, that you would have to be someone who's from there, someone who is familiar with the hills, someone who's familiar with how to get up and down them, someone I believe, either drove her off that hill with the parents knowing, or someone lured her down the hill. So next Sunday, we'll dig into that a little deeper and look into it and the area from the top of the hill. We're going to look at some videos of that, and we will continue our summer Sunday. Wait, what? Mimi Genie, it's minus 10? Oh, Lord. Look at me. I'm in a little strapless casual dress here. Or not strapless, but a little spaghetti strap. I think it was 82 today. Oh, in Alberta, Canada. Oh, good golly. Wow. Well, you stay warm, snuggled up, and stay home. It is that time of the year where the cold weather's going to start setting in. But I live here in Texas, and you might start out in a turtleneck and end up in this by the end of the day. You never know. Well, guys, I do thank y'all for being here. I do thank y'all for caring about summer enough to be here and listen and go over these things again. It's nothing new, but it's a refresher, and we can keep her name out there a little bit. We don't want to have any chance of her slipping away. And I really believe that at the very, very beginning, when this happened, that's what they expected. They expected this little blonde hair, blue eyed girl living out in the holler. Her story would just fade off after a few days. But little did they know, Summer would have an army. And no matter how crazy things get on the YouTubes, no matter how crazy everybody's opinions clash or whatever, at the end of the day, we're all here for Summer, and we all love that little girl. And as long as we continue to try, we can keep her name out there, and we can do our part. So y'all hang tight. Thank you to everybody. Y'all be very careful out on the streets when you meet somebody. I am very cautious these days, but we're all good. We will survive, and we will keep going. And I'm just thankful to have you guys here. If you would hit that thumbs up, I appreciate everything y'all do for this channel and being here for me and helping it grow. I set a goal for myself. I've already hit my goal, and I've even gone over it. And as proud as I am, the only thing is, the more we have involved here, the more we get her face out there and her name and her picture and everything. So thank y'all for helping me with growing this channel. I really appreciate you guys. Tomorrow we're going to talk about Sebastian. Word is, dog is in Tennessee. I am not real sure the meaning, but let me see if I can find it. War Eagle put something out a while ago that was talking about dog coming in and 8 minutes and 11 seconds to certain places. And I don't know, they're putting out cryptic messages, but we're going to stay on top of it. We're going to keep going with it. Guys, I would really want to have a members live. I have been really nervous about it lately. And I apologize for not having one yet. But about the time I was ready to go for it, and I started kind of feeling uneasy, and my intuition held out. So it's kind of crazy, but we're going to get past it. We're going to do it. We're going to do a members live and talk about some cool stuff. So y'all hang in there with me, okay? And keep Summer's name out there. Keep putting out purple hearts. Don't forget about her. And always, always, always remember to be kind, because you never know when someone might need a smile or that hello. So y'all be good. I will see y'all later. Hello, Selena. I will see y'all later. We'll be here tomorrow night. So, mwah. Love and hugs, everybody. Bye.